All right, Jets Chaos, the one and only. Let's see. You've said the running backs are an A plus. Offensive line, you've given them a solid B. You've given the receivers a solid B. That looks like a decent offense right there, especially with those running backs. What say you about the tight end room?
I tell you what, say I. Last year, the tight end room was probably, I'm going to say a C.
Who was in that room?
Well, we start with Conklin. Too many drop passes. A lot of people are saying, and I think we're going to see a big jump up from him. I think he's very capable as a receiving tight end. Obviously, we keep saying it and going back to it, but it's the reality. We did not have a quarterback, that had consistent competence to unleash that part of Conklin's game. But even when we did throw him the ball, there was drops, too
Yeah.
many that he needs to fix. CJ Ozana was barely there in the receiving game, and then Rucker didn't really get to play. Now, the only reason I'm giving it not a worse grade is because their blocking is very good. And at times it would have been almost unfathomable. I don't know how we would have played the game without their help. They really were. When Mitchell first came in and was going against some superstar defensive linemen, we were playing tough teams. Um, he was able to help. The Conklin and CJ were able to help with good blocking. So that was like value that they had brought to the team. But some people even argue that they were C. Some people argue they were lower. And if I had to concede, I would go lower before I went higher. So it's a weak C, a weak one.
A weak C. Okay, a lot of the
Yeah.
same players are in that room. So what say you this year?
Well, situations change, right? New quarterback, new offensive line, more Ruckert.
Yeah, but
So
drop passes are drop passes. I'm just going to say drop passes are
yeah,
drop.
yeah. Look. We don't have a star tight end, right? But we have a deep one. Like we have a balance of good skill. Now, blocking wise, we're as good as anyone. Like I'm feeling great. Jeremy Ruckert, the limited play he got last year and how he looked in preseason, he pancakes people. Okay, he's a great blocking tight end. CJ Ozama's a proven strong, good, very good blocking tight end. Conklin's very decent for a guy who you're counting on to be your best receiving tight end. So the running part of our room is really, really good. The receiving part, we don't have a star. We don't have a Mark Andrews. We don't have a Waller who plays for the Giants now, who's going to light it up. We don't have a Hawkins, Bird, or whatever his name is in Minnesota. We don't have Kittle or Kelsey or anyone like that.
No Gates.
Yeah, no Antonio Gates, certainly not. No Mickey Schuler, that's for sure. So we lack a star player, like a star receiving tight end. We lack an all-around star tight end. Does that mean Jeremy Rucker can't be one? No, I still believe he's a developing one. Tight ends typically prime in years 3, 4, 5. They tip up. It's very common for tight ends their first couple of years to grow into the role. So I still believe that we could, but for the reality is that Jeremy Ruckert is where he is now, which is I think he's going to be a great help in the blocking side. I think that we're going to see improved receiving from the tight ends because of the quarterback, because of the offensive line, and because of the improved running game. But they're not a room I'm super high on. I'm going to say they're a C plus. They're above average.
Give them a little bit of a nudge up, which makes your record complete so far. Everybody's gone up. Every room has gone up, but they've gone up the least, really just a little bit of a notch to C plus. It's going to be a weak part of our game.
Right, and some people will be argue about it. Like I don't think we were where we were 2 years ago, where we didn't have a tight end room, where we had Kraft and like it was just a putrid tight end room. I think they're all good. I think it's lopsided. They're all really good blockers, and I think Conklin is has a lot of potential and talent as a receiving tight end, but it hasn't happened. Like the drop passes were just inexcusable. So I don't say a C plus in a very negative way. C plus, I'm saying they were a little above average, but I'm not going to sit there and start putting us as a strength of our team. Like I can't sit there and say they're any better than a little above average until they prove it. Like if Ruckard's going to be a star, that's great, but you got to prove it. I can't give you the grade until you actually go ahead and prove it. And right now, none of them have ever had a season that would make me say, "Oh, we have a B or a B plus tight end room." because none of them have ever. It's always been about potential. None of them ever had the really big season. Just the potential.
This is really the room where there's the biggest chance of a surprise upside. Like there could
Oh,
be a surprise upside where one of them really turns it on, whereas the other rooms were already expecting pretty great things.
yeah, yeah. And the reason for the upside, I think, is all about Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers could give you a whole different outlook of a room, right? Because all of a sudden, if Conklin's going out for passes and now Aaron Rodgers is putting it in his chest every time he's open, suddenly Conklin could be getting 6 receptions a game, and he could be that guy that, that averages 60, 70 yards a game for a tight end.
We'll have to see. And speaking of Aaron Rodgers, that's going to be our next room rating. But first, go
Go
Jets!
Jets!